Welcome back to PHCPPros Live, where we're doing a series of interviews today and tomorrow, live at our booth here at ASPE. And my next guest is Chad Martin, Senior Manager of Product Training and Digital Learning for Zurn Elkay. Not just Zurn anymore, Zurn Elkay.
That's right.
Well, thanks for coming on.
Thank you. Thanks
Hey, listen, that's the big question, I guess, of the day. Zurn Elkay, two very familiar names. And last July, I guess, it became official that the merger happened. So tell us more about the combination of Zurn and Elkay into Zurn Elkay and how it's helping move the industry forward.
Sure. So it's a pairing of two industry leaders that have been in the industry to help provide more sustainable solutions out there, whether they're hydration or hygienic. And then both companies are well over 100 years old and well renowned and respected in the specification community.
Absolutely. So, what kind of new products launches with the new company, I guess, we can expect from them? What's on the docket?
So today in the booth, one of the technologies that we're featuring is a gear-driven sensor faucet system.
Mm-hmm.
So this gear-driven sensor faucet system is taking the age-old solenoid device that can be finicky out of that waterway and replacing it with ceramics.
Mm-hmm.
So a ceramic disc turns with a gear and delivers the water through the spout. What we're seeing is over 1 million cycles before any maintenance would need to be done on that device. And basically, the reliability lasts the life of a commercial restroom, which is about 10 years.
Okay. So we were talking before we hit live. It's been a few years since I went to Zurn in Milwaukee.
Yes.
But I remember last time I was there, I think the connected products, the suite of connected products was somewhat new.
Yes.
Is this, how is that extended into this?
That's a great question. So absolutely, this technology for that faucet is there, and it gives you predictability of maintenance, and it gives you understanding of when that device has been operated and how much water has been dispensed or consumed on a daily basis or an hourly basis or a monthly basis. So if somebody is a LEED accredited facility and they need to have reporting capabilities, we can do that. Or if a building like an MGM property would have a Legionella concern, we have the capability of doing a cloud purge on command where we could turn on those faucets for that Legionella compliance.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting. I was thinking too, with connected products, the predictive maintenance, that's an interesting way of thinking about it. I hadn't really thought about it until I went to Zurn 3 years ago. It's like, the old saw was that every 3,000 miles you change your oil.
Yes.
I guess if you were a city driver, maybe that worked, but I live in the country, so I was probably throwing the money to the mechanic a little more than I needed to. Absolutely. So this predictive maintenance takes all the use into consideration.
Absolutely. It comes into effect a lot of times with like an amusement park. So an amusement park where if a women's restroom went down, that would be inconvenient and could cost the park a lot of money. And they don't typically have, unfortunately, maybe plumbers on staff that are female that could go in during park hours. So that would have to be shut down in order to be maintained. So if they could get the predictive maintenance alert that there's something wrong with that device and it needs to be commissioned, they can go ahead and do that at the correct hours.
Good. All the more reason to use connected smart products, I guess. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, now, what solutions can Zurn Elkay do, I guess, that they couldn't do this separately? How is the merger going to help that work better?
So when we think of a commercial restroom or a commercial building, basically we're bringing Division 10 and Division 22 solutions, plumbing solutions to that finished restroom or finished water solutions to the entire facility. So if we think of an education segment, for example, that education segment, when we go into that finished restroom, on the outside we're going to have a water filtration system delivering water, and then on the way inside we also have solutions that are sensor operated flush valves, faucets, And then Zurn has Vitreous China, and Zurn also owns Hadrian Partitions, and then Zurn owns World Dryer. So all of that can be hands-free hygienic solutions from start to finish.
All the more important these days with COVID on everyone's mind, and
absolutely
washing your hands and not touching anything.
Absolutely. So if we think about the current state that we're in and concern with hygienics, it's top of everybody's mind. So we don't want to touch anything. If we do have touch, it wants to be as minimal as we can.
Yes, yes.
So that's where we continue to innovate into that segment. That has been, with COVID, the most segment that we've seen interest in, an explosion of interest in.
Really? Okay. And the merger helps just engineers and installers bring the whole suite of products into that one room without going outside of.
That's correct. So when you look to a provider for a solution, we're there with a range of needs in those two different divisions, 10 and 22.
Right. One-stop shop.
One-stop shop.
Good. Now, we talked about some of this already, but what are the macro trends that you see happening in the next, 5-10 years or so?
So the two that are here that we're dealing with now are sustainability and the hygienics. So we talked a lot about the hygienics, so let's switch over to sustainability. As we innovate and have previously been innovating, a lot of our products have been sustainable, meaning we engineer them to that lower GPM or gallons per flush, a GPF.
Okay.
So when we innovate, we want to make sure that the solutions behind the wall and in front of the wall that are moving the water or handling that wastewater are designed for that lower gallons per flush or that lower wastewater they're seeing through there.
Right.
So it's not just at the faucet, it's after the faucet.
Well, I'm just kind of curious, what goes into the engineering of those kind of products? I mean, low flow, how does it all work a little bit better?
Sure. So we use computational fluid dynamics software to help us intelligently innovate.
Really?
And then we also have wet working water labs that we test devices on. So after our engineers design it in our 3D software, we then 3D print full size that part, and then we take it to our water testing devices with that to understand how the concepts handles the water flow.
Interesting. I'd like to see that someday.
Yes, absolutely.
Invite me over. Do I have to go to Erie or do I have to go to Milwaukee to see that?
So we have a test lab in Erie for roof drains. It's a state-of-the-art test facility for roof drains. And then in Cary, North Carolina, we have it for our finished plumbing solutions.
Okay, so I got to go to North Carolina.
Yes, always. Hey, we could come to North Carolina when it's cold in the winter.
Talk to you more about this. So we only have a couple more questions, but I know later this afternoon here at ASPE, the convention, you're hosting a session on smart grease monitoring. So tell us about that. What's all involved?
Sure. Our smart grease monitoring is offered by a company called ATS Grease Watch that we acquired not too long ago, and we pair it with our green turtle interceptors. Our green turtle interceptors on the outside and the inside have a lifetime warranty with the fiberglass. It's a very good solution. So when we pair it with the monitoring device, we're monitoring sediment on the bottom, we're monitoring the grease levels up top, and then we're monitoring also the discharge temperature. So when we think about cost to maintain that unit, all the cost is in pumping that grease out of that unit and knowing when to do that. So this system helps alert the owner or operator to when that device needs to be pumped, and it also tells them if they're discharging at over 140 degrees, because most municipalities don't want you discharging past that with 140 degrees.
Okay. So you mentioned smart sensor technology. So I'm assuming this is another kind of example of connected products?
Absolutely, it's a connected product. It will go to our Plum Smart portal, or it could go right to somebody's smartphone device and alert them.
Yeah, that's a good point. I forgot to bring that up, because I remember that was somewhat new 3-4 years ago when I was at Zurn last time in Milwaukee before COVID. Yeah, the whole, like a dashboard, essentially.
Yeah, so basically on your dashboard, when you first launch your dashboard, it'll give you the health, and it'll tell you if something is not within the range that it needs to be, and somebody needs to go out and to attend to that. And our alerts are push notifications, text messages, or emails.
Right. Got it all covered.
Yes.
So, last question, and we've talked to some of these things about what can readers expect in the coming year, for example, from this new merged company.
Absolutely. So you'll see us continue to innovate in those hydration and hygienic realms, and all of our innovations will be targeted towards that.
Okay.
So an example of one of them will be expanding on our roof drain segment. 2 years ago, we introduced the Flow Force, and now we're introducing another family to that Flow Force that is a promenade deck drain, and we're using that same body style that is out there, that is designed to meet the codes of today. So we redesigned our roof drain mold that had been out there for 60 years or more, designed to those codes. The code just recently changed, and now this product is designed specifically for it.
Very good. All right. Well, excellent. Well, thanks for coming. I know that you have a booth here that you want to plug.
Yes, booth number 801.
801. So everybody watching, please go to booth 801 and take a look at the new Zurn Elkay product line.
Absolutely.
And we'll go from there. Thanks again, Chad.
Thank you.